now watching Chad 76 Media.
We are in Seville, which was the same track that we rode a couple of weeks ago with Ducati, but now we're with Yamaha, and we should have been in Jerez, and we should have been riding on the road, but a massive biblical storm has hit. So Yamaha have decided not to allow us to ride on the road because there's been landslides and the area is pretty devastated, to be fair. So I hope everybody's safe and well, but they have managed to secure some track time here in Seville. It's spitting a little bit. It's not the perfect conditions, so we're going to run road tyres, not slicks, the road R11 Bridgestones. We're going to run the bike pretty standard. I'm just going to switch over to race shift, and we're going to get out on track on the new R6 to see what it's all about. Interesting bike, because the R3 and R7 are basically an MT with some sporty bodywork, and this is just definitely uses the MT-09 engine, that's obvious, but it's completely new chassis, so different flex, different stability, different rake, different trail, different wheelbase to the MT-09. KYB suspension at the front, fully adjustable. KYB on the rear, again fully adjustable. Big, massive Brembo stylemas. We've got a plethora of riding aids, slide control, launch control, traction control, cornering ABS. We've got every type of rider aid you can imagine, which is being derived a little bit from the R1. It's just a few kilograms heavier than the Ducati. Quoted power is 117 horsepower, if I remember rightly. And yeah, we're going to try and dodge a few showers, get out on track, and see what it's all about. It's an interesting bike. I find it interesting because I love this category of bike. I love this kind of middleweight super sport category. So fingers crossed the showers will stay away. Fingers crossed we can send it a little bit. And it'll be interesting to see if we can make any comparison between the Ducati that I rode here just a couple of weeks ago. So, we're just coming to the end of the test. Rain has stopped play a little bit. We were thinking of going out on wets, because Bridgestone has brought a full truckload of wets. But it's kind of like that in between, should it be wet, should it be dry, not too sure. Just went out and did a few wheelies and it was a bit slippery and a bit skiddy. But we've had 3 sessions, I think it is. And the good thing is I know the track, so I was here last week. So from the off, I've been able to push reasonably hard on road tyres on that modified road suspension. Really interesting for me, one, because I love this category of bike. I think this category is super exciting to see super sport bikes coming back. It's not really a replacement for the R6 because the R6 is still going to be available as a track bike. The R1 is still going to be available as a track bike. So it's a very different bike. What Yamaha wanted to do was balance it between a road bike and a track bike. And for me, I thought it was going to be real 50-50, like right in the middle, but riding it on track, it feels like a pretty good track bike. I'm quite surprised actually. I didn't think it'd be as good as it is on track. It's really good. Very easy to ride, as you'd expect. Really smooth power delivery. Not intimidating in any way. Very, very easy to ride. The steering is really good. I love the front end. Yamaha makes great front ends. This is one of them. Steers really, really easily, very fluid. No kind of getting used to it. You just get on it and ride fast. Suspension's worked really well. They've only tweaked the suspension a little bit, and the R11 tyres from Bridgestone have worked very well because we were pushing reasonably hard. I mean, these are not even race tyres, these are just road tyres, and yeah, so my lap times were 2.3 to 2.4 seconds slower than they were on the Panigale, and the Panigale was on slicks in perfect conditions, and we had a few damp patches and we were on road tyres, so that says a lot about the bike. In terms of what it's like, it's close to an R6 than I thought it would be in terms of chassis dynamics, as in where it is as a chassis and how it handles and how it steers, but with an easier engine and lazy power. The only disadvantage is I did hit the limiter on many occasions because it just feels like it wants to rev and go a little bit more than it does. So every now and then you come out of a corner and you're like, oh, I did it, because it's kind of done at 10,500 RPM, and you're so used to being on track with bikes revving to 13, 14, 15 RPM. So, but I guess that makes it easier to ride because you've got that drivability and you can use third in places. braking is really good. You've got big Stylema Brembos. We didn't have ABS. Yamaha had removed the ABS, so I can't say how good the ABS is going to be on the road. But nice feeling, a little bit spongy just in the last 10%. But I think some of that is also down to the front carcass of the tyres just squidging a little bit because we're on road tyres, not race tyres. Lightweight, I mean, Ducati made the big claim that they were the lightest, but this doesn't feel much heavier, and it was really good through the corners. Easy to steer, but to make it easier, I'd like the bars to be a bit wider. If you've ridden an R6 or any super sport bike, the bars are quite close in. I call them kind of T-Rex bars, and these bars need to be a little bit wider. If they were a little bit wider, it would be easier to steer and easier to manoeuvre, and will give you more stability on the brakes, because on the brakes it gets a little unsettled because you're sliding up and down the fuel tank, up and down the seat towards the fuel tank and back again. You can't get locked in. It's a little bit cramped, a little bit small, but the pegs are not, but the bar position is. So it'd be interesting when we get to ride it on the road, which is what I want to do next, because everything ticks towards being an excellent road bike. And we've got to remember, it's 12.5 grand, and we keep comparing it to the Ducati, which is what, 4 or 5 grand more, and we were on slicks with Öhlins S suspension. So it's a real difficult one. So next update will be hopefully when we get to ride it on the road. I'd like to also try it on race tyres with, tweaking the suspension, get some race suspension on this. Just the KYB suspension is fine, it's fully adjustable front and rear, but we could have just dialed it in that little bit more and just gone another level. It would have been interesting to try it. And we didn't really try the buttons and the dash and the new rider aids. So I had the lift control off and I had traction on, but I wasn't really hitting the traction control. It was on the minimum setting. So again, there's something we need to look at. There's something we need to test in the future. How intuitive is that switch gear? How easy is it to use? What are the mirrors like? How comfy is it going to be over distance? What's the fuel range going to be like? All those kind of things we can't answer because this was a track test. But top work, Yamaha, top work Bridgestone for putting this together in such mad conditions. As usual, any questions, fire below. And as usual, click the subscribe, tell your friends, spread the word, share the love.